This is an experiment. What do billionaires, cultural icons, and world-class athletes have in common? I'm about to find out. I'm John Aguilar, serial entrepreneur, former decathlete, and creator and host of the CNN Philippines business reality show, The Final Pitch. Each week, I try to unlock the secrets of Asia's world-class performers to come up with hacks that I can apply in my own life. My goal is to have you apply them in yours. This is the podcast designed to change your life. This is Methods to Greatness. Methods to Greatness is brought to you by Technogym. If you're looking for gear that will help you elevate your home gym experience to the next level, visit technogym.com and we'll hook you up with the best premium home gym equipment and gear available in the market today. Methods to Greatness is also powered by Perfect Health Philippines, a leading provider of innovative and premium massage and healthcare products to customers across Southeast Asia. This partnership is all about improving people's lives, health, and well-being. Visit perfecthealthph.com to know more. Our guest today is one of the most well-rounded heavyweight mixed martial artists on the planet. Raised in Norfolk, Virginia, he was a collegiate wrestler, served in the United States Air Force, and even joined the military's Greco-Roman wrestling team. In 1999, after being medically discharged due to an arm injury, Brandon Vera began his extensive rehab and went on to study the art of submission grappling. Soon he trained in mixed martial arts under some of the best coaches in the world and has been a professional competitor since 2002. He has formerly competed for the UFC and WEC and later joined Singapore-based ONE Championship. Now settled in Manila, he plans to develop the next generation of Filipino martial artists at his very own Alliance Training Center Philippines. Before his recent setback, he has held the ONE Heavyweight World Championship reign for 5 years, becoming the longest reigning titlist in ONE Championship history. Welcome to the show, Brandon "The Truth" Vera.
Maraming salamat. Thank you for having me. It's an honor to be here. I'm looking forward to this interview.
Brandon, so right now you're in Virginia. I'm in Manila, so we're 12 hours apart. So thank you very much for staying up late. I know you have a regimen and all that, so I'm glad that we're able to get you on the show.
It's perfect. I actually just finished training right now downstairs with my brothers. So in this crazy world that we have now, Zoom has become a very friendly tool.
For sure. Brandon, I'd like to first talk to you about your background, how you started for people who are not familiar. So how did things start for you back then when you were starting out as someone new in the sport?
So, man, new in the sport, wrestling, was definitely not something I wanted to be a part of, that I was looking to go try. In all honesty, I got bullied into wrestling. I was a fat kid who ate everything. My nickname in the family was Trash Compactor. I would eat 4 Big Macs with 4 French fries, each one of them loaded in, and then I would eat everybody's food at the table. Fat kid, super fat, spoiled American kid.
Wow.
So my cousin Alan, he was a bully. He was the bully of the time. He told me, he said, "You're fat. You need to come to wrestling. If you don't, I'm gonna beat you up every day until you show up to practice." So I don't want to get beat up every day. I ended up joining the wrestling team, and I absolutely hated it. Oh man, I hated it. But Alan went to every practice, so I had to go to every practice. Wrestling is a sport you're either going to love or you're going to hate. And I hated it. But I had to grind it out because my hand was forced because of my bully cousin, who I am so very thankful for now. Because after my first year of wrestling, second year, I was in 7th grade, I fell in love with wrestling. I started to learn. I actually did a move that I watched on a tape and it worked. I remember. So, it was crazy to me that I could actually do something. I could actually make something happen of myself with my own hands. And I fell in love with the sport then. I fell in love with wrestling. You know, everybody want to talk about the small leotards. Everybody want to talk about the long hours of training or the long distances and tournaments that last 48 hours and how wrestlers always smell and it's always wintertime and it's a hard sport. I'm okay with that. That's okay with me. Like, I was okay with that. I would show up to tournaments, long tournaments. I'll show up with rice in a pot, 2 Chef Boyardee cans, and ulam in a little container. I was good to go for the whole weekend if I needed to be. So I enjoyed the grind. I enjoyed it once I fell in love with the sport, you know. And is wrestling for everybody? No. Wrestling is definitely not for anybody. For everybody. But I will tell you this. Starting with wrestling and then moving through my career, moving through life, and then moving through all the way up to now. Any wrestler who is worth his or her salt and competed at a high level or understood the wrestling game and tried to get to the highest levels available in wrestling, all of them are super successful in life. All of them. Because once you're on that wrestling grind, everything else is easy. Everything else becomes super easy. Me and my family talk about this all the time. That wrestling grind is not fun. And you don't get paid for it. It's more just for pride. It literally is just for your pride. So if you can do that, and with no money, yeah, everything else becomes very easy.
Yeah, I guess the parallelism with wrestling or even I guess sports in general, you know, the grind of having to work out every day. And it wasn't really in your case something that you loved initially, but you know you have to do it because there's a challenge for you to do it because in your case you were bullied. But the grinding, I think the daily grinding, and what's funny with you is that, you know, you mentioned ulam, you know, you would bring rice and all that. One thing that also, I've talked to a few of your fans, your diehard fans, one thing they love about you is that you're a proud Filipino. I mean, you represent the Philippines very well in the international arena. Talk to us about your parents, your lineage. So you have a Filipino father and an Italian mother. Let's talk about how that's different, and let's talk about how that's interesting in your household, how you mix both, and being an American yourself, Philippine American at that.
You know, it's weird, I guess. So my birth mother was Italian and mixed with a bunch of other things, American. My mom, the lady who raised me, she's Pinoy from the Philippines. So I grew up in a super Pinoy household with Lola staying on the couch. You know, like, we grew up Pinoy, no shoes in the house. When we ate, pila, subo, kamay, next, next. You know, so I grew up Pinoy. I grew up super Filipino. Like, everything we watched, the only thing we watched on TV that was American was cartoons and I think 12 o'clock, what was that, Days of Our Lives back in the day? Some soap opera from back in the day that Lola would watch. Man, we really didn't watch TV unless it was cartoons, man, and everything else was Tagalog. We only spoke Tagalog at the house. It was so thick, my sister almost failed first grade because they thought she couldn't speak English. She wouldn't talk to anybody except for our cousin at recess because they would speak in Tagalog. My sister didn't want to speak in English.
So what was that like for you? Any particular influence that you took to your sport, being Filipino? Is there anything you feel that, because people say Filipinos, you know, we're maabilidad, you know, or, you know, we have this sense of, you know, we can do things even if we don't have the resources. We're able to do things because we're creative thinkers and, you know, the discarte, Brandon, right? That's something that we Filipinos have. So do you think there's any of those traits that you apply to mixed martial arts?
I think it's a lot. I think it's a lot. And you know, everybody can say racism is not a thing. It's not real. Oh, okay, let's say it's not real. It's not real. Okay, let's say it's not real. Within the world, even myself, you know, moving around the world as it turns, in the world, our African American counterparts are always looked down upon for whatever reason. I'm talking about worldly views. Our Mexican counterparts in the world of Spanish Hispanic people are looked down on. Us, Filipinos, as a whole, in Southeast Indo-Asia area, we as a people are looked down on in the Asian world. And I think learning this as I grew up, I grew up in the South. I was a brown, half white kid that grew up in the South. I wasn't white, I wasn't black, you know? I had to find my own way along the way. And then I found out that people thought the Filipinos as the lowest class citizens of the Asians. So man, I had a long road to hoe. Like, man, there's no rule book, there's no handbook on how to figure this out as you're trying to make your way. So the one thing that was steady in my life, man, like no matter what happened, no matter what was wrong, my dad always went and opened a restaurant. My dad was a restaurant owner. He owned 5 or 7 restaurants throughout his restaurateur career. Open, closed, struggling, about to go broke. We're not eating this month, but everybody else is because you're owner. You pay everyone else before yourself, you know? Man, no matter what, my dad got his ass up and went to work. Never, ever, ever complained. He never complained. Listen, my dad went through the ringer. He's been hacked on with a meat cleaver. He's been shot at. He's been robbed. He's been beaten in the head with a club. Listen, you know the shows that you see on TV, like Mr. Kim's or Mr. Parks, where it's the Asian community, the family inside the hood neighborhood, and
okay,
that's us. Like that was us. that was us. We could have had our own damn show. No matter what, my dad would go back to work, and if he would say, you know, I'm just tired, mahal, pagod lang kaunti. Hayaan mo, okay lang. And my dad would always say this, Brandon, hayaan mo. Kahit ano, kayang-kaya ng Pilipino, kayang-kaya ng Pinoy. I was like, what? And I didn't understand that, you know, but he said it all the time growing up. And now that I'm older, now that I'm, you know, wise to the world, I see how things move, man. I understand. Mother Nature can't kick our ass. People can't kick our ass. Me losing our title from now doesn't, last event doesn't sadden me as much. I'm gonna come get that thing back. So like, we just get over things. We make things happen. And being Pinoy, man, growing up, even being Pinoy and being, listen, let's flip this back the other way. Being a proud Pinoy and coming back to the motherland, trying to get my citizenship and trying to become a spokesperson for the Philippines. Man, I'm not Pinoy enough. I didn't grow up in the Philippines. I'm not brown enough. I was never poor enough. I don't know what it was like to be a real Pinoy. You know what I mean? Like it. But racism's not real, right? Racism's not real. You know, it's all of these things that we have to deal with throughout our lives and nobody ever talks about. Man, every day's a struggle, especially being a half-breed. And man, that's part of what makes me who I am. That struggle and that grind. I welcome it every day. I'm used to this game. This ain't my first rodeo. We've been doing this since I got bullied into wrestling. Being Pinoy has just helped me guide my way. Like I would say, some people need to hold Jesus' hand in their darkest moments when they need somebody to pull them up from the depths of hell or wherever they're at. For me, I just need to remember I'm a Vera, I'm Filipino, and I need to make sure that I make my family proud. Bam, I'm right back to where I need to be. Bam, I'm right back on my A game. Let's make it happen. Man, I'm Pinoy. This is nothing. Are you serious? People lose fortunes every day, lose their houses, and one congressman, I think, long time ago, he lost his entire family during an election season because they were all murdered, and he still went in and voted after he heard that everybody got murdered. Come on, man. Well, I don't have nothing to complain about. We just grind. So being Pinoy has taught me a lot, and I've learned a lot about being Pinoy, chasing the history of the Philippines, learning about the Philippines, going to different locations and different schools to attend speaking engagements so I can hear people speak about the islands. Man, there's a question I know that you guys, I think, have, something that was brought to me a long time ago. And what does it mean to you to be Filipino? What does it mean to you to be Pinoy? What makes you Filipino? Man, somebody asked me that question, I think, when I was a freshman in college. And I've been pondering that question ever since then. So, man, it's a lot being Pinoy, you know? It's a lot, Kuya. Sorry I went off on a whole tangent, but man, being Pinoy, I'm super proud being Pinoy. Like, okay, one more thing, I'm gonna leave it here. So I'm a citizen. I shot the movie By Bus.
I was just about to mention that. So I watched your movie By Bus back in, if I'm not mistaken, 2018. So I saw the movie, I loved it. I mean, half the time I was thinking, is this guy ever gonna die? Because you were like Rambo and Lito Lapid at the same time. I mean, a bigger version of Lito Lapid, who obviously kicks everyone's ass. And you were an immortal. I mean, up until the last moment where I think I thought you were dead, you were still alive, right? I mean, that movie was something else, and I think that performance that you did was by far more entertaining than than what you do on the ring, just because, man, you would not die. that was something else. And I'd like to ask Brandon, how was it like? I mean, you're a wrestler, mixed martial arts legend, and all of a sudden you're thrust into a movie set, right? You have these extremes of performing within the ring, but then again, it's a different kind of performance, but you're still very physical. You use your body, you use your I guess your emotions a lot. And it was, I think, Hugh Jackman who said that fight scenes are like a dance. It's choreographed. So, and correct me if I'm wrong, what you do in the ring is, I think, quite similar, but not so when it comes to a movie set. So I'd like to hear from you how things are the same and how they're different as well, because I can just imagine you're having fun both times, right? But it's totally different. What's it like?
Like you said, it's the same but different. Two dances, one dance, both of you are trying to be the lead. That's in the circle of one championship. On set, both of you are trying to figure out how to dance together, changing the lead depending on the component of the set, what's needed for that scene, So it's really, really cool. And how is it different? It's a lot easier when somebody's letting you lead them as opposed to stop trying to do everything that you're trying to do. Yeah, it's so much easier. But I will say it's almost the same in the respect that the output that I'm putting in is almost exactly the same. The intensity is the same, the cardio is the same, the struggle is the same. The only thing that I would take out of that is the anxiety of somebody really trying to kick you in the head and put you to sleep.
Right.
So everything is the same. I think even on set one time, I might have thrown up in between set and I needed a second because I couldn't go again, It's demanding. Like action movies, I understand why action stars are the highest paid actors in the world. I understand. You have to remember lines and then sprint around and do a 30-minute workout and then repeat lines again. So the hardest part for me about the movie Kuya was really not messing up because I didn't want to make that movie set was full of the great actors of everywhere. Anne, Victor, anyone is on that set. So I didn't want to mess up because I was messing up for something stupid. I think that was the most anxiety I had. But other than that, it was so fun. It was so fun. God, it was fun.
Yeah, so the difference is there's no anxiety from getting hit, right? So that's
no
that's
anxiety.
a big side.
hey, you can retake. You can say you can shoot that again. Whoa,
Right,
do it again.
right. Yeah, so it was Mike Tyson who said, everyone has a plan until you get hit in the mouth. So in this case, you don't need to get worried about getting hit. But in terms of the acting, did you have to do like an acting workshop, or was it something that came naturally because you were in essence playing a fighter, right? You were fighting, you were kicking people's asses, and how much acting did you have to do in that role?
I did a lot of line reading. I did a lot of role playing. I did a lot of acting workshops. And the role was tailored exactly for what I could do for my first time on screen. Pero the load of work was the exact same as everyone else, man. It was not a game. They didn't take it easy on me. I had to do everything everyone else was doing. The action stuff, they didn't have no problems with it. When we were doing lines and readings and details and expressions, oh my God, talk about fish out of water. I was so brand new. I'm glad that everybody was so kind and so helpful and teaching me along the way, because it was basically OJT for me. It was OJT, and everyone was so helpful, man. So thank you, everybody. Thank you.
Brandon, were you actually more nervous prior to your first movie than, let's say, going inside the ring and doing actual fighting?
Nah, no way. There's nothing in the world. There's nothing, not anything in the world. Not even asking for your woman or your man's hand in marriage to their father, mother, other, whoever raised them. There's nothing that comes close to it. Not even when you first lose your virginity. It's even more nerve-wracking than that. Like, there's no way. Like, the only thing I don't like about the fight game is the anxiety. That's the only thing I don't like about it. Man, the training, the sleepless nights, thinking about my opponent is okay. The anxiety is the only thing that I can complain about. Absolutely complain about the anxiety. And the reason why I can't do anything about it, you can't take drugs to slow down, then you're going to be slow.
Right.
So you just got to eat it. You just have to eat the anxiety and grind through it.
This episode is also brought to you by Perfect Health Philippines. Did you know that massages are considered one of the best ways to recover from exercise and is considered an indispensable part of any fitness training and recovery regimen? Getting a regular massage not only detoxifies your muscles from lactic acid buildup, but also increases muscle performance, blood flow, reduces pain, and induces better sleep. If you don't have access to a masseuse, the next best thing is a massage chair or a massage gun. Perfect Health has a complete lineup of massage chairs with a whole range of features and price points. Their top-of-the-line model, Perfection 2, has all the bells and whistles. From 3D full body and foot massage functions, voice command, Bluetooth, and zero gravity. Their Perfect Relaxer massage gun is a personal favorite of mine, which I use on my quads every time I come from a long bike ride. Methods to Greatness, in partnership with Perfect Health Philippines, has come up with a special discount promo that is exclusive to our followers and subscribers. To avail of the special promo discount, get in touch with Perfect Health's professional healthcare consultants at perfecthealthphcustomerservice@gmail.com or via hotline 02-8831-6944 and give the promo code MTG. That's the Methods to Greatness promo code MTG, and the healthcare consultants will hook you up with the best premium massage chairs, massage guns, and other healthcare products, all with a special discount. One of the biggest trends in fitness right now is the proliferation of home gyms. And we've partnered with Italian wellness solutions provider Technogym to give you your weekly dose of high-tech fitness equipment and exercises that you can consider for your home. Joining me is Technogym Philippines Sales Director Marvin Navarro.
Okay, John, so this is the MyRun. This is the Technogym treadmill specifically designed for the home. It's very compact. Even though it has a very small footprint, the running surface to body ratio is very, very good. One of the best in the market. But what sets this apart to normal treadmills is this actually helps you become a better runner through a dedicated application. You have the normal slew of exercises, goal training, workout, fat loss, so what you find in normal treadmills. But what we have here is actually a program that will help you become a better runner. So let's say you want to be able to run a half marathon. Then it will ask you right now, what is the distance that you can cover right now? So let's say right now I can do 5 kilometers. And how long can you run that 5 kilometers? Let's say I'm relatively a beginner and I can do it in around 40 minutes. How many times you want to train a week? I'm dedicated. I'll train 4 times a week. And there you can see, it will already give you your training protocol, a schedule that you can follow all throughout the week. Once you assign this, it will then sync to your calendar so that you will never miss a workout. So you can see this treadmill can actually detect your cadence, your step or stride length, and also your displacement, how much you're bouncing up and down. With this, you can actually fine-tune your running technique to become better and more efficient at running. Another feature is run with your music, wherein if you have songs loaded into your tablet computer, it actually picks the songs with the same beat of your pace.
Nice.
So this is the dedicated TechnoGym application for my run. But if you are using any of the popular third-party applications, you can actually use it and sync it with this treadmill as well. Zwift has connected with the My Run, and then now you can use it with the application. You can start a run, and then there you go.
Aside from giving you the usual speed, distance, time, it actually gives you your stride length, so you can calculate exactly how much or how long your stride should be. It gives you your displacement, so as much as possible you don't bounce. And this, I find, is something that's very unique, and first time I've ever gotten to experience this. It's like having a coach by your side telling you exactly how you should run. So as a runner myself, I think this is invaluable feedback. I'm very, very surprised we already have the technology for this right now. Brandon, how do you prepare for a fight? There's a physical side, but also I think equally important is the mental or emotional readiness to fight an opponent. Can you possibly take us through what it's like to prepare maybe months before? How do you condition yourself, your body and your mind to face a tough opponent, let's say in recent years in one championship?
So for me, I start watching films on my opponent. I stalk them online. I follow them. I become immersed in everything that they're doing. I hope that they're posting training pics. I hope that they're showing techniques they're working on, because then I go to the gym and I work on stuff, and I go train. If I feel like not training that day, this guy's already been to the gym, at least on IG or Facebook. He's been to the gym 3 times today, so I need to go back to the gym. So it's a great motivating tool for me, how I use the anxiety. And usually you're training 2 times a day, sometimes 3 times a day. If you're doing 3 a day, one of those is technique. But man, if you're training right, you're waxed. After you're done training, you usually just sleep. The only time sleepless nights come is at the end of the last training, after your last nap, and now you're staring at the ceiling at 3 in the morning, wondering what they're doing, That only comes that starts to come in probably 8 to 6 weeks before the fight. That's when I start to lose sleep. I start to pay attention. I start to think. I start to slip and move while I'm sleeping. I start to become quiet. I don't talk as much anymore. I'm staring off into something, and you might be having a conversation with me, but I'm not really paying attention. I'm just off staring. I'm running the playbook through my head. I'm running the fight through my head. I'm running 1 million times 1 million to the infinitieth power scenarios in my head of what could happen, what can happen, what else I need to train on, what I should be training on. This list that we're talking about right now will go on forever and ever. And this is what keeps me up at night, the anxiety of, have I done enough? Should I do more? One more round, one more lap, one more session, one more sit-up. Always one more. Was it enough? Was it enough? So it's part of the game, and I absolutely love it. And I'm scared. I'm scared to not have that. I'm scared not to have that. I don't know what I would do with myself without it.
Yeah, because I think for all athletes who have, I guess, taken on their sport as their career, it really is hard to let go. I think me being an athlete myself, it was pretty hard to let go in my 20s when I decided to retire, right? But in your case, you're in your 40s and you're still going strong. You're still, I would say, at the peak. You still exhibit the qualities that make a champion great. And we've had a lot of athletes in their 40s who have done this successfully. So I'd like to find out, Brandon, now that you're in your 40s, as opposed to when you first started, what are the things that make your physical makeup different now, and how you prepare both mentally and physically for a fight? Has there been a difference that you've seen through the years that now allows you to adapt to, in this case, an older body but a more mature mind in the way you fight and prepare for a fight?
The way I train has changed. I don't spar hard every week, twice a week. For one fight, I might spar hard once or twice. The rest of the time, it's technique sparring, timing sparring. We're rolling really hard. We're wrestling live. We're doing everything else live. But the impact stuff, we've been staying away from. We sharpen the sword on our impact stuff now. So I can tell you, I'll tell the entire world, instead of sparring 5 rounds, I will do 10 rounds of Holland drills, back and forth, all day long, over and over and over and over. And that'll just be one of my training sessions, or part of one of my training sessions. So I'm just sharpening my sword. When I slip punches and there's touching me but not really touching me, and I'm countering and leg kicking and I'm landing perfectly, man, it's because I'm doing these Holland drills. It's because my sword is sharp. I just need to be able to swing it the entire time. So all we do is just grind and make sure that sword stays sharp, super sharp. Man, that's all we can do now. We stay away from the injuries. We rehab all the time. I probably go to physical therapy twice a week, massage 2 or 3 times a week, cryo maybe during camp every other day. There's a huge learning curve to this. I didn't just get here. It's been practice. It's been trial and error. It's been peaks and valleys, and it's been a lot of money, a lot of learning. So we're here now, and this is where we're at, Kuya. This is what we're doing now.
So Brandon, to this day, I think you're, is it 43? You're 43 now?
Yeah, yes, sir.
Yeah. So we share a lot in common aside from the lack of hair. And we're around the same age. I'm just trying to figure out, Brandon, at this age, we feel we're so strong, but that we're not as maybe strong as way back, maybe in our 20s or 30s. What are the things that you do specifically that still allows you to compete at such a high level? You mentioned earlier cryo, things like that weren't being done, I guess, back in the 90s. Can you take us through like your regimen apart from the studying part? I mean, physically, how hard do you still work now in your 40s?
Yeah, super cool, yeah. Like I'll say we go in the morning. It'll be morning practice, 10 a.m. We go hard. Whatever they're doing that day, it could be wrestling practice, it could be rolling, it could be sparring, it could be whatever. That's team practice, and we go hard. We do whatever the team's doing. It's just part of the gig. Then evening practice, it's up to you what you're doing. What do you need to be doing? That time ranges from, your evening practice could be from 5 p.m. Some people like training at 10 p.m. because they fight super late. So that second practice is up to you. In between that second practice, I rehab. I'll go to my physical therapy, and then I will go to cryo. Right from cryo, I go home, eat, sleep, then I train again. Training would be specific to whoever needs help in the gym, whoever's in camp. When I say whoever's in camp, that's whoever's getting ready for the next fight. Even though this is a solo sport, you guys still need to help each other out, because when it's your turn to be grinding, you need people grinding on you, Iron sharpens iron, so you got to make sure you're there for the people that give to you. After that training, shower up, drag my butt home, massage. Usually I get a massage 2 or 3 times a week during camp. After massage, I do Epsom salt hot tub soak. Shower and then sleep. Then repeat. Right. Repeat.
Brandon, the cryo part, I'm very interested in, because personally for me, when I was an athlete back in the 90s to 2000s, we weren't doing that yet. So I'm curious to know, to find out exactly how you integrate cryo into your training regimen. What exactly, maybe you can take us through the process of how you do it.
Cryo, new age technology, cryo replaces old school ice tub soaking baths or cold baths, Sitting in the cold tub, I think you had to do 15 or 20 minutes in a tub, and then you almost always caught hypothermia because you would be shaking super hard when you got out. But, it's what we want to do, so you'll be jump back in the tub again tomorrow. It's part of the gig. Now, they use liquid nitrogen, off-gas it into a super fine gas mist, either in a cylindrical standing form, so it shoots in the sides, neck down, and brings your outside temperature down. And I don't know what it is. I'm sorry. They use a temp gun to check your skin, and you're only in there for 3 minutes. Some places will let you raise your core temperature again, and you jump back in for another 3 minutes. Man, after sparring, if I've done that 3 times, my body is brand new. Instead of limping and gimping into the cryo place now on the way back out, I'm just walking around, no problems. It brings your temperature down so fast that the blood has to rush to the surface. And I don't know all the scientific properties, but it works much better than ice bath. And it's 3 minutes as opposed to 20.
That's science, that's sports science working overtime for you there.
Oh, I'm a fan.
Yeah, and I can just imagine being in the organization where you're in, you have access to, I guess, the latest in terms of sports therapy, sports medicine. You know, you get banged up all the time, but what are the things that you feel are your advantage now, being a fighter now in the 2020s, with science by your side? I mean, you know, I know you're 43 right now, but with science, you know, how far do you think you can go competing at this high level, given the support that you have and the access to all of these technologies?
I always use Randy and Dan Henderson as my my mark. I think they were 48 when they retired, 45 and 48. I'm 43. I want my title back. So that's the most important thing to me right now. It's not really the age. I don't know. I don't think about that unless and until people ask me. For me, I just need my title back. I need my belt back. I was off that night. Something was off. Something was really off that evening. So I need to get that one back. There is no age. There's no age.
Methods to Greatness, in partnership with Perfect Health Philippines, will be giving away premium healthcare products to our loyal listeners and subscribers. Starting January 31, 2022, there will be weekly winners of Perfect Relaxer massage guns worth 9,900 pesos. And at the end of 12 weeks, we will give one lucky subscriber a chance to take home a fully loaded Perfect Health Trinity massage chair worth 200,000 pesos. All you have to do is subscribe to the Methods to Greatness podcast and follow us on our social media accounts on Facebook and LinkedIn, and share the post linked in the show notes of this episode on your feed. And if you know someone who you feel would benefit from our conversations and content on the show, tag them for more chances to win our prizes. We always want you, our listeners, to aspire to improve yourselves in every aspect of your lives so you can be the best you can possibly be. Check out the Methods to Greatness social media channels for more details. So recently you lost your title, you lost your belt to Arjan Buller. I saw that fight. That was pretty tough to take. I mean, I saw that right hand. I felt it. I felt the punch. I mean, I could just imagine, you know, how that felt like. You were stunned for a bit. And can you talk to us about how that fight went? You said you were off that night. So what exactly happened?
I don't know exactly what happened. I don't know. I can't blame it on anything except for myself, you know, like it's my fault. I really can't put it together. It could have been a series of events. It could have been a bunch of different things. But what it really boils down to is I did not perform the way that I trained and the way I should have. And that is that's burning my ass more than anything else. Because no matter what happens to the world could be, excuse my language, you know. Now we're talking about the nitty gritty. This is my job. The world could be burning to shit. My job is to go out there and kick Arjan's ass. And for whatever reason, that didn't happen. My mind was focused elsewhere. And that's something I have to live with, that I have to eat and deal with for the rest of my career, unless I write some book afterwards of what's going on in the background behind the scenes. But it's literally my fault still, you know. So I'm just annoyed at myself. So I'm very much looking forward to rematching Arjan. I'm very much looking forward to getting our belt back. And man, even to this day, I still haven't watched that fight because it was so bad. While I was in the damn fight, in the circle, like I remember thinking to myself, yo man, I fucking suck right now. What the hell are we doing? Move. Move your ass. What are you doing? Move, bitch. Move. And I'm yelling at myself in my head, and I'm so tired. And I'm thinking about everything else. Like, I don't know what the hell was going on. And during my interview, people said, Brandon, your interview was crazy. I remember thinking, I've never been like this in my entire life, in my entire career. Like, never, ever. In all honesty, man, like, I shit the bed. That's what it felt like. You know, that's exactly what it looked like. But instead of just it happening, because, you know, some people like, oh, I don't know what happened. I don't know what happened. I don't know what happened. Yo, I was watching myself shit the bed while it was happening, you know? So that man, I had to deal with that for a little bit. And, you know, my wife was even asking me, baby, are you okay? Like, maybe you seem a little bit different. Maybe you seem off. She checked on me periodically until, you know, you have to talk to your other half. You have to talk to your wife. You have to talk to the closest person to you. And for me, that's my wife. She's my best friend. So, I mean, it took me a little while, but we talked about it. We talked about a couple things, and we get to move past our little personal demons and our personal little walls to move forward and get our fucking belt back.
Yeah, it comes as no surprise to me that that's the first and foremost thing on your mind right now. You are a fierce competitor, and for the belt to be taken away from you after holding it for 5 years, I can just imagine. I feel like if tomorrow, you know, there would be a rematch, I feel like you would just go ahead and.
Yeah, we'll sign for sure. We would sign for sure. Hell yeah.
Brandon, what I want to find out now is, you know, obviously, you know, you didn't take it well in terms of the regret, but has there been any kind of intervention, let's say, mentally or in terms of the psychology of how you fight in terms of preparing for a fight? Because you yourself said you weren't prepared for it. Maybe you were distracted. I'd like to find out, have you ever been involved in any program or, you know, maybe possibly getting emotional or psychological help to prepare for your next fight? Is that something that you're looking to do or looking to do more?
So I've been with, I'm a weirdo. Let's put it, I'm going to tell you a couple different things why I'm a weirdo and why some things to me just seem like they're supposed to be that way. Like, you remember that movie, The Secret, that came out and everybody's like, oh my God, the movie, The Secret, the movie, The Secret, The Secret, The Secret. When I saw that movie, everybody in the damn room was like crying and like, oh my God. I was thinking like, yo man, you dumbasses, this is how it's supposed to be anyways. How else do you think? Like, what, you don't think like this already? So for me, I didn't get it. Fast forward, psychological help. Olympic Training Center. I'm training for the 2000 Olympics as a member of the United States Air Force Greco-Roman wrestling team. I go to a sports psychologist there. We all meet him. He's talking. We're talking about visualization drills. See that you're going to win. See what you do after you win. Yeah, man. Isn't that what everybody's supposed to be doing? See that you're winning. See that afterwards you're going to go on vacation and go hang out with all the girls or go hang out with your wife. Or isn't this what everybody's doing already? Or you should be doing this 2 to 3 times a day. I'm doing this at 3 in the morning when I can't sleep, man. Fast forward a little bit more. I go to another sports psychologist. After we go through a home invasion in Maryland. So I'm having anxiety issues. I got over those within like 3 or 4 weeks, but I still went to him and we were talking about sports psychology because of what we do.
So sorry to cut you, but Brandon, for those who don't know and are not familiar, so there was a home invasion. Can you talk to us about that incident?
So, see, my life's crazy. There was a home invasion and then we were in Maryland during camp, and this was for the Keith Jardine fight. Banks were crashing. A lot of bad things were happening. It might have been, I don't know when exactly it was. If we look up Jardine, that's when it was happening. And a lot of stuff happening, and people were closing accounts, pulling money out of different places. And one of my coaches pulled money out of account, and later that evening, people showed up with guns at like 4:30 in the morning, broke into the house and woke everybody up with guns in their face asking for the money. Where do you think they got the information from? Banco, diba? Pinoy tayo, we're not tanga, di ba? Like, in the US, they're like, oh, I don't know where they would get the information from. Oh my God. So, that happened, and this was, I think I was at Master Lloyd, so we were there for 6 weeks. And this happened like 6 or 7 weeks. This is my last week of hard training during camp. And I remember when the dude had a gun in my face, I was thinking, you motherfucker, you could have did this when camp first started. So then at least I didn't have to go through hell first. Like, that's all I'm thinking in my head. So long story short, our coach, Master Lloyd, saved my life. He no bullshit, disarmed the guy, dropped the clip, Jackie Chan style. Guy jumped out the room, over the balcony, out. Master Lloyd shot out the window. He saved our life. So I owe Master Lloyd my life forever. You know. That evening we had to go to an event for the guys that were fighting for Team Lloyd Irvin. So we had to kind of be in a crowd immediately that evening. Fast forward 1 week later, I had to fly to the UK to go fight Keith Jardine, or fly to wherever to fight Keith Jardine. So it was just a mess, man, for a little while until I can get my bearings back about me again. Good times. Good times.
Good times indeed for you. You lead such a colorful life. I mean, I can just imagine, what it's like to be in your shoes. I mean, as a fighter, taking a look at your record, the past few years, I would see that you would fight maybe an average of maybe once a year, right? Give or take, once a year. So you're preparing that entire year for this one big fight. And what happens in between is something I'm curious to find out about. I mean, what exactly does Brandon Vera, apart from training and preparing for your fights, what do you do? I mean, I know that now you've been introduced to the show business, you've been doing movies and TV series, but on a daily basis, what is it like to be Brandon? Who are you outside of the ring?
We have, if I'm not shooting, we're not doing anything for entertainment purposes, endorsement purposes, or for the fight game. I say nothing on schedule, because we don't really have seasons. We just have schedules, We have nothing on schedule. We'll still train once a day, at least. Could be cardio, could be wrestling. Like right now, today we just rolled for 30 minutes. So, I mean, we do something throughout the day. We're always staying sharp. But other than that, Kuya, I hang out with my family. I hang out with baby Atreyu. I hang out with my wife. I hang out with my brothers. Right now we're in Virginia. I'm hanging out with my entire family here on the East Coast. We were in California. We were hanging out with our family in California. We're going to Florida to go train with Sanford MMA next week after Father's Day. So I do the same thing, just around the world, Kuya. In Guam, we were doing the same thing. In the Philippines, even without Alliance Training Center, Kuya, we had a gym set up in my backyard. We would fly people in. Before Corona came, people were flying over to train with us in the backyard, Kuya. Like, we just train and we just enjoy family time. There's nothing else that I do, Kuya. I don't do anything stressful. I don't want no drama. I don't hang out with no people that cause drama. Man, I fight for a living. I have enough drama in my life.
Yeah, I asked a couple of your diehard fans, and one of the people I asked was, strangely, my wife's ex-husband, who is a fan.
Whoa. Wow, man.
So I asked him, so why do you love Brandon so much? And he said that one thing that's great about you is that you're one of those people who are very down to earth. You're very down to earth. You don't have the arrogance that I guess comes with fighters, I guess, trying to project, a certain kind of personality or aura. You're just very chill. And that's what he likes about you, and the fact that you're proudly Filipino. So, I think that's a proper segue to what I'd like to ask from you now, because I'd like to find out, since this show is all about Asian world-class performers, what is it about you that makes you truly not just Asian, but Filipino? You wear it literally on your skin. I know that you have a few tattoos that talk about this, but what would you say is the one, I guess, resounding reason or quality in you that makes you Filipino?
The one resounding quality that makes me Pinoy, so buong buhay, would be my attitude of walang atrasan. Talaga. Like, that's not an option. I don't know how to explain it more for anyone who hasn't been to the Philippines. I don't think I have the words in my vocabulary to explain that, other than the literal meaning of it means no retreat. If you want to get real cliche with it, would be no retreat, no surrender. I can give you an example that I love giving to everyone. When I say there's no surrender, there's no retreat, there's walang atrasan. There's a little kid between 2 to 5, butt naked and dirty as hell, along EDSA, in the thickest of the thickest pollution that the bus is blowing out. And that child is smiling his or her ass off, running and playing that game that his or her friends are playing with them. That child is what I want to be. Her outlook on life is what I want to become. And the spirit of the Filipino, of walang atrasan, is in her. Because in its purest form, that's what it is. No matter what you don't have, everything's still going to be all right. And you can still smile about it. That's what it means to me to be Filipino.
Yeah, so against all odds, with limited resources, with your back against the wall, you choose to still fight. You still choose to forge on. So those are the qualities which, surprising to say, probably that kid that you just described is looking to you for the same qualities. And it's just amazing that you yourself are saying that that kid essentially is who you aspire to be. So I think it's just amazing how the perspective of someone who has succeeded in your arena, as you are really finding the simplest of things being the ultimate inspiration for what you do and who you want to become, which I feel is still a work in progress, Brandon, given what you still want to achieve. But, Brandon, as a Filipino myself, I'd like to find out, and I'd like for you to also maybe share with those listening and those watching this, if you were to invite people to come to the Philippines, what is it about the Philippines that you would like for them to discover?
I would show them Muntinlupa. I would show them Tondo. I would take them to all the bayans and the barrios made out of bamboo that stick over the water. I would show them how those people live. I would show them how happy they are. I would show them how you can be masaya with nothing. Then I would take them to all the 5-star that the Philippines has to offer. Then we would go find ourselves for maybe like 3 days in the jungle, and I would ask them, man, so what's important to you now? What have you seen that makes you think a little bit different on this trip? That's exactly what I would do. I would encourage that for the entire world to come see all spectrums of the Philippines, because it's all here. We have everything. We have everything in the Philippines. I would want to show the world that. And then you tell me what's important to you. What rally are you going to go speak out at now? What are you going to do now? Like, you tell me what's important to you. You tell me what you want to stand for now. Like, you tell me what's really important. How do your dollars that you send to the Red Cross really help? That's my thing, Kuya. Sorry. And then my biggest thing, Kuya, honestly, if I could tell people coming over, anybody coming to the Philippines, listen, don't give your money to anybody. Put your sweat into this. We want sweat equity. I want you to go out there and put some work in. Show people that you care, man. Don't bullshit. Don't do photo ops. Don't IG post. Let's get into it. Let's go to the farthest parts of the bayans that nobody knows about. Let's go to the different parts of the province that people don't even think about passing by with a car. You have to get there with a carabao. Let's bring them some clothes. Let's bring them some stuff they've never seen before. Let's go put some smiles on people's faces that you would have never met sitting on your couch at home YouTubing all day. So, just dreams, Kuya. Just dreams, sorry. Just dreams.
Amazing perspective, Brandon. And I love the fact that you call me Kuya. It's no one calls me Kuya except for my younger brother and my younger sister. But you know, that's who you are. You're really, I think, more Filipino. And I beg to disagree with those saying that you're not brown enough, you're not Filipino enough. You to me are more Filipino than a lot of Filipinos that I know, at least in terms of, you know, the nationalism that you so
Salamat, Kuya.
deeply exhibit in your life and in your words. So I highly respect and admire you for that, Brandon. And you know, as someone who respects and admires you, I'd like to also know, who are your heroes that you find out there? It could be an athlete, it could be a CEO, it could be a politician, it could be anyone. Who to you is your modern day superhero?
So I have two sets, Kuya. As I grow and as I experience life as the world turns, like we say, you know, my number one heroes are my family, first generation. Kuya, my uncle signed on the dotted line in the Navy, not thinking to do 20 years, just so he could sponsor his family to America. Now, he can get everybody to America. Now these people from the Philippines, they don't speak any English. They don't have no dollars. They gotta take whatever with them and then go to this place that they know nothing about. No. So that's my first set of heroes, Kuya. Like, that's my very, very first set of heroes. Those people are all badasses. That's all my family, you know? And that translates into every first generation person that came to America from anywhere else in the world, man. It's not just their journey. It's everyone who's made that crazy journey, man. That's insane, man. Like, no one does that now. No one does that now. My second set of heroes, Kuya, this one is huge, man. This is huge because you don't know about this until you know about this. I am a fan of moms and dads around the world. People who have families on lock, really good families, are hard, bro. Like, I understand to mix all those personalities with the kids and with the timing, with this and with that. Man, I'm a fan of moms and dads around the world. Like, I salute all of you. Oh my God. Good job, guys. Good job. Ang gagaling nyo talaga. Keep raising amazing children for our future, huh?
Brandon, I don't know if you have, but if you have ever been given a chance to maybe speak at or give a commencement speech in school, I don't know if you have, but if you had the chance, what message would you impart to, you know, the generation now that is coming into this world with so much uncertainty? I know that maybe mixed martial artist or fighter maybe is not like the top choice or the top option for people who are graduating, let's say from college. But what kind of message would you want to impart to this generation now as they come into this post-COVID world that we find ourselves in?
Keep it simple, Kuya. From me to all of you graduating, I applaud you. You have done something that I can't do, I wouldn't do, that I actually quit trying to do. I'm not a fan of school. I absolutely hate school. I detest school. I hate when people tell me to do things and I have to do things at a certain time. So you guys are leaps and bounds ahead of me already. Truth be told, half of you, maybe more, aren't going to use those degrees that you guys about walked across the stage for. It's just how it is. It's the way of the world. You're going to pay all that school debt back. So right now, as you stand there, you look at me confused. Things are going to start getting really real. I just put things in perspective for you. So when you walk across this stage, you understand your plan needs to start now. Right when you get to the end of that stage with a diploma in your hand, now. Not 2 weeks, not on vacation, not when you're roaming the world. You better get to it now. The other half of you will use your diploma in whatever aspect you get into. You might even use your diploma in something else that you had no idea you would fall in love with. I would say 1 to 3% of you are going to become world champions. And those are the ones I'm looking forward to seeing. And when I say world champions, I'm not saying you're going to become an MMA fighter, some kind of pro athlete, you're going to win, put all these gold rings. No. You're going to be the one to discover something. You're going to be the one to change the world. You're going to be the one to create something new that the world has never seen before. You are the ones that I'm looking forward to watching grow. My name is Brandon the Truth Vera. Family, I'm out. That would be my commencement speech. I'm out.
Wow, I can imagine it. I can imagine you being on stage and just everyone getting up on their feet and just applauding that. And possibly maybe, I can even imagine you maybe sparring with one of the graduates.
Just for fun, yeah.
Just for fun. But, Brandon, speaking of you being out, we will all die. In the end, what would your epitaph say?
I would say, here's a man who learned along the way. He did as best as he could, and he helped as many people as he could. There's always gonna be shoulda, coulda, wouldas. Make sure you live your life better than his, and make sure you have less shoulda, coulda, wouldas in yours.
Not seizing it right there and never backing down. And my one final question, Brandon, is that I always ask my guests, if there's one thing that you could suggest that personally that I try, anything that you do, whether it's something that's related to the sport or mentality-wise, what would you suggest that I try that maybe can help me in my own life or in anything that I do? Any suggestions, Brandon, that you would like for people to, in general, to try?
I would say, Kuya, if available, you should be getting 1 massage a week.
Okay.
It will and can change your life if you find the right masseuse, Kuya. And because she'll stretch you and just rebuild all the parts that hurt.
That's very doable. Not now that there's COVID, but
Yeah,
I think that's very doable.
When possible, Kuya, when available. And Kuya, because I know you're in shape, you take care of yourself, so you're working your body all the time. Let somebody else fix you. Let somebody work on you, Kuya.
Right. And like you said, you have access to all of these things, and but at the end of the day, it's really this. I feel, Brandon, that sets you apart, and the reason why you've been on top for such a long time, and I truly, deeply respect and admire what you've done for the sport, not just the sport, but for Filipinos around the world who are proud of you, raising our flag every time you step into that ring, and just giving your heart and soul, blood, sweat, and tears every time you go out there and representing us well every time. So I'd like to just ask you for one final message, Brandon, for people who will be watching you again in your next fight, trying to regain your title. What can they expect in your next fight, and what can they expect from you as, I guess, an ambassador of Filipinos around the world moving forward?
Sa mga kababayan ko sa buong mundo, sa mga kaibigan ko, when I come back out, alam mo na talaga, mainit ang dugo ko. I have something to prove. And natalo ako last time. Motivated is a very good word to use. So abangan nyo na yung pagbabalik natin at ang bawi natin to get our title back home to the Philippines. Yun lang. Abangan mo na.
Walang atrasan.
Walang atrasan talaga. Sa buong buhay.
Maraming salamat, Brandon, the Truth Vera, for guesting here on Methods to Greatness.
Maraming salamat, Kuya. Thank you for having me on. I appreciate you guys, and thank you for doing this para sa atin bansa. Thank you.
This episode is brought to you by Technogym. We've partnered with Techno Gym for equipment recommendations for your home gym. So if you're looking for gear that will help you elevate your home gym experience to the next level, just go to technogym.com and type the Methods to Greatness promo code MTG. That's MTG, and we'll hook you up with the best premium home gym equipment in the market today. Methods to Greatness is also brought to you by Perfect Health Philippines, a leading provider of innovative first-class massage and healthcare products across Southeast Asia. If you would like me to interview anyone on the face of the earth and want them on the podcast, or if you want to collaborate with us for future content or sponsorship opportunities, or if you just have any recommendations on how we can get better, just send us an email at john@methodstogreatness.com. That's john@methodstogreatness.com. Until then, we'll see you next time.